Hey guys, and welcome back to Battlefront Updates. The whole Star Wars universe is connected together throughout all of the official canon media. A lot of stuff that shows up in the movies will then obviously show up in games, comics, series, and things like that. But something that I find really interesting is when they introduce an object, location, or character in a game, which then makes it into canon, movies, or series. And that's what I'm going to talk about in this video, because there's quite a lot of examples of things from both canon and non-canon games that makes it into recent Star Wars media. But before we get into the video, a shout out to today's sponsor. Opera GX is a free gaming browser, and you might be wondering, what's a gaming browser? At first I was quite skeptical, to be honest, but after using it for a while I realized it's vastly superior to any other browsers I've tried. The GX control feature allows you to limit both your CPU and RAM usage in the browser, something which you've probably noticed can tank your gameplay quite a lot if you have many tabs open in other browsers. The network limiter also allows you to limit bandwidth usage and make sure your gameplay isn't affected by spikes in data usage. Another great feature is having all your favorite social media available on the left panel, so you can easily access them without having to tab between programs such as Discord, Instagram, Twitter, or most messaging apps of your choice. One of my favorite features is actually the GX player, where you can link up your music player of choice, in my case Spotify, to easily access in the browser. And best of all, if you start a clip on, let's say, YouTube in the browser, the music automatically pauses and then resumes when you're done with the clip, something I've always done like hundreds of times every day manually. The Opera GX browser is also available as an app on your phone and can be connected to the desktop version. So if you want to automatically pause your music every time you're watching the new Kenobi trailer, follow the link in the description below to download the Opera GX browser for free. So now on to the topic of the video. There's obviously a lot of examples of stuff from games making it into live action or animated series or movies, and I'm sure there's gonna be a few that I don't cover in this video, but I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below if there's anything I missed or if there's any particular favorite that you've seen come from a game into canon Star Wars. So let's get straight into it. The first thing I wanted to bring up was the most recent thing actually, which is the Fortress Inquisitorius, the name of the fortress that we visit in Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order at the end of the game, where we have to find the second sister, aka Trilla, and bring back the holocron. The actual fortress is located on the moon Nur, which is actually a moon to Mustafar. And the Fortress Inquisitorius showed up in the recent Kenobi trailer, highlighting that we will get to see this location with all of its Inquisitors in the series. Because this fortress wasn't just for Trilla, it was the headquarters for the entire Imperial Inquisitor program, and the existence of the fortress was actually hidden from the majority of the Empire to maintain the public perception of peace and security. In reality, it was where the Empire took the Jedi they captured and then turned them to the dark side by brutal torture, turning them into Inquisitors. So it was a pretty cool location in the game, and I'm excited to see how it's gonna look in the Kenobi series. It wouldn't surprise me if Vader will pay them a visit as well, considering his castle is located on Mustafar, pretty close to the moon Nur, obviously. Secondly, we've got another thing from Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, which is BD-1. Those of you who have watched the Book of Boba Fett were probably happy to see that in episode 5 we got to see a BD droid. When Mando comes to visit Peli in the episode, we get to see a bunch of our droids goofing around as always, and one of which was actually a BD droid. It's not BD-1, the same droid as in Fallen Order, same thing as the fact that she has astromechs that aren't R2-D2, if you get what I mean, but it's still the first time we've seen a BD droid outside of Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, so it's nice to see that we will be getting two references in two consecutive live-action Star Wars series. Moving on, we actually have something from Star Wars Battlefront 2. One of my favorite parts of the Battlefront 2 campaign are the parts with Luke, when he heads off to Pilio, because we really get to see a great side of him there, a calm and collected Luke who is just completely aligned with the light side. And when he goes to Pilio, he obviously ends up meeting Del Meeko, who at first is very skeptical towards Luke, but they fight off the Scritters together to then reach the Emperor's vault. And Del Meeko's goal was simply just to destroy the vault, but Luke asked if he could keep the compass, which Del Meeko agreed to. And this compass was then later shown in The Last Jedi, both in Luke's hut but also next to Kylo Ren the night where Luke goes to confront him. And it's also been confirmed that this compass is the one that Luke used to find Ahto as well. So it plays a quite significant part of Luke's story, so I thought it was really cool to see it being introduced in the Battlefront 2 campaign. Another Book of Boba Fett reference is actually Jabba's garage. This location first had its canon appearance in Star Wars Battlefront 1, the first DLC called The Outer Rim, because one of the maps was actually called Jabba's garage. And in this version, the sail barge is actually parked inside Jabba's garage, so you can fly around and fight each other. Those of you who have played Battlefront 1 know exactly what I'm talking about, but you can see some trailer footage in the background showing how it looks. And this location then showed up in the Book of Boba Fett both in Chapter 4 and 6. And as you can see, the interiors match very accurately. Obviously the sail barge isn't there because it's blown up, but the rest of it looks very close to how it looked in the Battlefront 1 DLC. The garage has actually been featured in some other games and stuff that wasn't canon, so the Battlefront 1 DLC wasn't the first time ever we got to see it, but it was the first canon appearance, which then made it into its first live action appearance, which I still thought was a very nice reference. Next up, we have the Krayt Dragon Pearl, something that was shown in The Mandalorian Season 2. After Mando, Cobb Vanth, the people of Freetown, as well as the Tusken Raiders managed to kill the Krayt Dragon, one of the Tusken Raiders actually found a huge Krayt Dragon Pearl in the carcass of the Krayt Dragon. And the Krayt Dragon Pearls are actually formed because the Krayt Dragons eat rocks to help with digestion, and sometimes they will swallow a Kyber crystal, which then over all the hundreds or not thousands of years gets smoothed out into a pearl. And it's had numerous Legends appearances, but maybe the most prominent one has been in the Kotor games, where you can use them as upgrades to lightsabers. So it was featured in Kotor way before it was ever brought into canon. It has also been mentioned in the canon book Heir of the Jedi, where one character tells Luke Skywalker that I've been to Tatooine actually and bagged a Krayt Dragon there. Its pearls paid for the upgrades on the Jewel, which was the character's ship. So I still think it's cool to see that it originally came from some Legends games, it was then mentioned in some canon books, and then it made it onto the big screen in The Mandalorian. And it also says that these Krayt Dragon pearls can be used in lightsabers, considering that they are made out of Kyber crystals, but the one that they found in The Mandalorian was huge, so maybe that one can even be used for some type of super laser, who knows. Lastly, we've got a big one that I'm sure most of you haven't missed. Delta Squad from the Republic Commando game. Obviously, throughout the Republic Commando game, we get to play as Delta Squad, enhanced clone troopers, part of a special Republic squad, consisting of 4 troopers to be more specific: Boss, Fixer, Sev and Scorch. And originally these were only legends, but in Season 3 of the Clone Wars, the episode Witches of the Mist, Dave Filoni actually requested specifically to the writers that the Delta Squad was to be brought into canon. So although it's a very short scene, we can see the Delta Squad retrieving the bodies of Jedi Master Halsey and Padawan Nox following the massacre on Deveron, and they deliver them straight to the Jedi Council. Although they don't do much more than that, they still brought the names and the 4 members of Delta Squad into canon, so Boss, Fixer, Sev and Scorch is canon, and I could definitely see them showing up in more media going forward, as their current canon description is very short compared to their very extensive story in the Republic Commando game. But that brings this video to an end. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. What's your favorite connection from games to Star Wars canon materials? And is there any other connection that you really like? Let us know in the comments below. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, may the Force be with you.